That's the
Oh,
Los Angeles. That's what it was named. The city of the Virgin, Queen of the Angels at the gates of heaven.
So
wow. So
Yeah.
okay, so you're near LA over there?
No, I'm Baba has me living near Mayher Spiritual Center now, South Carolina.
All right. Next
I
time
think
I'm there, we'll have to meet up. I was just there
where you
2 weeks ago or something like that. So we'll
did
have
you
to.
did you come you stayed at the center or what?
Yeah, I was there for 4 days in the center.
Okay, but you've been there before.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah.
it's a great
Tell me
spot.
tell me something, Jonah.
Hmm.
Um did you used to entitle your flow meditation? Did you have Baba's name before? Because I don't remember that, but a friend of mine was very upset that
Yeah.
you somehow she thought you would put the name before the flow meditation. Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
So I'm actually, yeah, I'm not sure what it's titled. I haven't looked at the title lately. It may
yeah,
be worth paying attention to. I remember there was one video where um it was titled like it wasn't the best title, and some people didn't like that, and then we changed the title after that. Um
but what was the
so
title? Did you have Baba's name in it? I wonder where she saw.
no, the people got a little upset. It was like because there was some third eye work done in that, and I put that in the title, and some people got upset, so we took it out. And I think we like retitled it, or we took it
Yeah,
down, or whatever it was. But we don't, there's no point in in getting people upset. It doesn't make any sense. So we can always change the title if people want a different,
yeah. Baba wants
different
says
title.
what he wants from us is cooperation, harmony. We'll
Yeah,
give him harmony. I
yeah,
mean,
totally,
he
you know,
said
totally.
that that's the only thing that he cannot give us.
yeah, yeah.
Oh. All right, wait, so we got to do that on our own. Um, yeah.
Jonah, by the
So
way, if you can get a street legal dirt bike, that would be great because then you're allowed on public roads as well.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, good.
And it's funny. I saw one the other day. It's and it's kind of a little bit out in the middle of nowhere, so it's not like there's too many options. But this one, it's a 2005 KLR 250, and
Oh,
it
sounds
could
perfect.
it's perfect because it's super light. So that means I can pick it up. I tried out a 300, it went down. I couldn't get the thing out. It's like really sandy, so these things will just fall over. But that one I can pick it up. But the thing is, it has this kick start, and it's like really really difficult to start it. Like even the guy who owns it, who weighs a lot more than I do, like it even took him like 15 times to like get the thing to start. So
Uh, uh,
I don't know, I have to figure that out. Maybe it has to go into the shop, or yeah, or maybe this kickstarting is too challenging. Um, but yeah, like something like that where it's like super light and still is kind of street legal could be. He was saying though, like you wouldn't want to ride it on the highway or maybe someplace where there's a lot of cars because it'll just kind of get blown over because it's a really light one. But yeah, something like that to kind of go around, these uh explore these fire roads. I have a feeling there would be some really good places to meditate. I'd love to find a cave or something like that. Like I have a little meditation cave around here. Um, so it'll take some exploring, and then for right now, like most of what I need would just be get back and forth to town, and you know, so I'll work on that. So
Lalita referred to Mount Shasta.
yeah,
Oh, she did. Did she? Oh, yeah.
so I'll just
Jonah,
switch
Darling,
around. Yeah, go ahead.
just I was doing some research related to the Mayor Baba journals, and there
Okay.
were, uh, I came across one. I'm looking for my phone. So
to name Mother
oh,
Lalita.
here we go. Just a sec. And there was a woman, Maud Johnson, who wrote a book And to tell you the truth, I was really surprised to find it in the Mayor Baba journals. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. And
From when? The
it's
40s, 41,
yeah, it might have been 42, I think.
42.
But it says it's an excerpt, 2 articles, excerpt from her book, and it starts out, the name of the book she called The Sacred Symbol. And it starts out, undoubtedly there will be great changes on the face of the earth, and there will again be a continuous stretch of land uniting the eastern coast of Asia with the western coast of America. And once more pilgrims may walk from the Himalayas to the holy Mount Shasta, and again from healing lakes and waters hidden away in the western hills and the mountain range. When perhaps again the Bay of San Francisco will be a fertile and beautiful valley, and the islands of the angels and the devils, both purified and cleansed by their dip in the sea, may again be mountain peaks and inhabited and surrounded by peoples praising and glorifying the Lord by their uplifting lives and by those who can see the plan and work in harmony with it. That goes on, but
What did she write?
Cool.
Right?
Yeah, that's powerful.
She wrote a book. This would have been, she wrote
a
back
book
in the 40s or whatever. But I was surprised to see this. I didn't read the whole thing, but there's 2 articles. Doesn't seem to mention Mayor Baba, but it must have caught Elizabeth and Narina's attention that they put it in the Mayor Baba journals.
What was her name again, Jonathan?
Cool.
Maud Johnson.
Maud Johnson.
It says, let me see at the bottom, it says, by special permission of the author from her book Sacred Symbol, published by Order of Loving Service, Laguna Beach, California.
Cool.
Different.
That's a cool idea, walking from here to
Can you imagine the
If you
depth
don't
of
like
the Pacific
flying.
Ocean? What a landmass arising, what an earthquake that would take to create a landmass that connects the Orient, whether through China or Japan or I don't know where, with the West Coast.
Yeah.
Plus, it'll be a long walk pilgrimage.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're at Mount Shasta, that's interesting. Yeah, it must be a very special place.
I loved Mount Shasta. I remember taking a hot bath in Mount Shasta. Yeah.
In the very mountain?
Somewhere it was right near Mount Shasta.
Yeah, there's some hot springs generally in this region that are really fun. I hadn't kind of known hot springs before, but yeah, they've been super interesting to go to.
That's pretty around nearby there.
Yeah. Look at that little bird.
Yeah, he's pretty close, and he was even closer before. It's like
so where are you born, Joshua? Where are you born?
I'm originally from New York.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
The city.
I mean, I was born in the Bronx and grew up in Dobbs Ferry, which is kind of along the Hudson River.
And when did you hear Baba's name?
A few years ago, probably in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in India, and that's when I heard about
you were
Meher
traveling
Baba.
around India.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you go? Did you go to Mirabai?
I have. Yeah, I've spent a long time there.
When you were there and that first time and heard Baba's name?
It took me a while to get there, so I kind of knew I had to get there, but it took me a bit longer.
The U.S. and yeah.
No, the first place I went was India, the India one. Yeah, I think yeah, I was first in the India center, and then I was later in the U.S.
Yeah,
center.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's so
Um,
interesting. A friend of mine, a very dear friend, Phyllis Frederick, she wrote a poem. Um, let's see, man has to tell stories to, uh, but let's see, man has to tell stories to get God. God has to create stories. Like we're being created by God, and it's in His storytelling universe. I am only a comma. It's like that key of humility is like so critical. Like wow. And today, in the reading, it's like that to have humility offered, you know,
Hmm.
to you by the avatar. I mean, whoa, it's like, ooh. Anyway,
so
yeah.
do you backpack and just live out in?
I'm yeah, in general, I'm super into backpacking. I guess right now my backpack is still in Europe. I didn't bring that over. I don't know if it's gonna make it
Ah,
over, so I've just like a lighter pack now. But yeah, no, before like with that loaded, yeah, I could go off and like do some backpacking. Now I am doing a lot of I want to be on on the mountain as close as possible. You know, to the most energy and whatnot. I find sleeping on the ground, that's even better. More can happen. Um, I had a great meditation last night, like in the middle of the night. It's like, I woke up, I felt a lot of energy coming in. I just kind of stayed with that, for an hour or something, went back to sleep. Um, so yeah, I am camping out, but I'm just camping out like a 10-minute walk in. I'm not camping out like
Yeah.
an hour in or something like that. But the nice like one thing about here, I think with that bike, then I'll be able to get more off road or explore more places. But if you are just on the road, there is a road that goes a good way up the mountain. So even though I haven't backpacked in more than 10 minutes or whatever, I'm still 2/3 of the way up the mountain or something like that. I don't know, at maybe 8,000 feet elevation or wherever that road
Wow.
goes to. Um, and I'm definitely in the woods, and there's animals around. There might have been a bear or something last night. Like I felt something, wandering around over there. I just had like the phone flashlight. I'm like, all right, I can't quite see it. It doesn't
yeah.
reach that far, and he left at some point, which I'm glad about. But yeah, it's definitely is out there.
You don't want to get between a mother bear and her babies, because my
No, no,
mother.
you don't
Yeah,
want to do it right now. And the other thing I'm doing now, it's I'm kind of also 10 minutes outside an area where other people are camping, which you know allows me to get used to it too. So I feel like it's less likely that the bear or the mountain lion is going to come. Hopefully, it's a little less likely that's it's going to come like directly
I wanted to tell you this because I
over
heard it
there.
from Mara, who Baba
Hmm.
said loved him as he should be loved. Um, she said, if you dream of Baba, it's not a dream.
Hmm. Okay,
You know, so she
that's cool.
she certainly knew. Yeah.
So yeah, so let's do some meditation, and I'm curious how people feel, and if people feel it different because of the location. Here I'm feeling I'm feeling pretty good this morning. um and there's a 3-hour time difference, by the way. So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was starting at 12 there, it's starting at 9 here, so it's a little bit different, but yeah. So yeah, so for people who are up for it, let's call in Meher Baba to join us in our meditation and
Well,
give
not,
us some.
nice to talk
Yeah,
with you, Josh.
great to
Yeah,
talk with you too. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
so glad you stayed on for a bit and shared. I enjoyed the conversation.
yeah. And we're preparing. We're doing the blue bus every 3 o'clock. our Eastern time. The Blue Bus tours were the mystical language Baba spoke through Narina Machabelli. So
Hmm.
uh, just one line, and this comes through the mystical language. This mystical language in I is in I, the experience of God.
Hmm.
I remember hearing that line that says, okay, Baba, I get it. I get it. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah,
So that mean do you have like a blue bus that's going around the
I
center over
do.
there?
I'll show you my blue bus. No, I have
Okay.
someone sent me uh, this adorable little blue bus.
The blue bus was what Baba and women Mandali at the beginning of World War II and through the first three years of it. Baba traveled around India in this blue bus with 25 women in it.
Okay.
Used
That's
to
cool. They
Please,
still have it in, in Meherabad or
blue
around
bus
there.
in Parasite,
but
right?
tell him about the quote
Yeah.
Baba said, after my manifestation, this blue bus will be worshipped.
This was the
Can you
blue
see it?
bus.
My
He said,
my little model.
Ah, there we go. I
And
see that.
tell you,
Yeah.
well, it's made in Mexico, but my friend painted it
Okay.
blue. It was green, but
Ah,
it was interesting.
very nice.
The very day I got moved from LA here to Myrtle Beach was December 8th. And just recently I thought, hey, that was the day the blue bus started out. So, yeah, anyway, very, very special time.
but when he said the blue bus would be worshipped after his manifestation, he added that in this Advent, the blue bus was to his Advent like Krishna's chariot was to Krishna's. So
Mm.
that really gave me big pause, because instead of Arjuna in this Advent, he had the Eastern and Western women Mandali, which I took to be two things. One was the elevation of the status of women in this Advent, and two, the women create homes. The feminine quality creates home. They also have the power of intuition, or they're centered in the heart. And so in this Advent, he was working through women had a prominent role, intuition, prominent role, and home. And it was during the war that Elizabeth and Narina were on the blue bus, and Baba sent them back in 41 at the first major turning point of the war, which was Pearl Harbor and the Germans having to retreat from Russia. And both happened right after the end of the blue bus tour. But then a few years later in 44, Baba established his two homes, Merazad in the east and Meher Spiritual Center in the west, literally just before D-Day. And at the same time, around Easter, Elizabeth got the promise of the center in March of 44 on, and interestingly, President Roosevelt was recuperating, invited to the Myrtle Beach area by Bernard Baruch on Easter Sunday. He ended up staying in the area for a month. So all the generals, heads of state came to the Myrtle Beach area.
Interesting that I went to Baruch College for a year back in the day. So yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting because he was from South Carolina, and
Oh, no way.
yeah.
I always thought he was a New Yorker because that's where the college is. So I always thought that was
his father was a doctor in the Civil War, practiced in a small town in South Carolina. And then when Baruch was 11, Bernard was 11, he moved to New York and then became a financier and advisor from every president from Wilson to Eisenhower. And,
But and I wanted to tell you because of California, Elizabeth and Norena, they went as far as California, and they were thinking it would be a good place for the center, but it dropped really low in temperature that night, and so one of the requirements was a climate that Southerners and Northerners, so they said it can't be California. So and then it ended up in South Carolina.
Yeah, no, it's gonna go down pretty low in tomorrow night. So I'm also thinking about that. Talking about temperature, it's gonna go down to yeah 38 tomorrow
Wow.
night. So I gotta prepare. Gotta prepare for that. So
What's your birth sign, Josh? What's your,
Leo,
what
yeah,
day are you born?
August 5th,
August 5th.
86.
The
Yeah.
same as my older brother. That's so interesting.
Ah,
You
okay.
can see certain energies from people similar, you know. And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I didn't. I wondered when Baba would take me out, if he would ever take me out of Los Angeles. I spent a lot of time in Berkeley, like from kind of 67 to 74. And then I got back to Los Angeles, and he finally moved me to Myrtle Beach. Yeah, yeah, it's so funny. But I did love Shasta, I had to say.
Do you, sorry to interrupt you, Rosalie. I'm sorry, but do you mind if Jonah could start the meditation because I have other things to do as well, and I'd like to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you were here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay. So,
Jay
so with
Baba.
that, we'll
Nice to meet
Jay
you.
Baba.
Yeah, nice to
Great
meet you.
to great to meet you guys too. Next time in Myrtle Beach, we'll have to be in touch.
Jay Baba.
Okay. Jay Baba.
Jay Baba.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, let's start the meditation. Let's see if we, if we pick up anything, different being, you know, in the location here at Shasta. So yeah, so let's go into it. We can stretch our arms a little bit, stretch back a little bit, rotate side to side, get the a little bit of stretch going, a little bit of opening in the spinal column. Put my hands up and go back, reach up, and then we'll come back down into our meditation position. I'm going to start out in the cosmic mudra. I'm sure there's plenty of other names for it, but just with the tips of the thumb slightly touching and the left finger is above the right. And you can use this or any position that you're comfortable with. And we will call in Meher Baba to come in and leverage leverage the energy of Mount Shasta, the transmission ability that can come from here as well, and build off of that and amplify with with what he wants to do in his energies. We'll take some deep breaths as he comes in. Let him come, down through the crown into the heart, through the throat chakra. We'll let him come in, establish himself over here, throw his weight a little bit around, help us relax, release tension, work with the tension that may be there. In my case, it is there a little bit, and I can feel him massaging that a bit in the chest area, and maybe others can as well. And we'll sit with him and his energy for a minute here in silence. Nice. So what are people feeling? How are people experiencing Baba's energy from the mountain over here?
Well, I'm feeling my heart pulsing and my whole body pulsing as well.
Nice. Yeah, no, I feel I'm doing some nice work and kind of coming in yeah, very solidly and kind of broad working on some broad areas um in the head and yeah, and more so in the heart area, kind of broadly in the heart area. So let's stay with this for another minute. To move and massage those energies up and down a little bit.
And Baba did say that, though God is everywhere, some people feel him better at pla saints' burial places or tombs yeah,
Yeah,
or just specific places. They can feel his presence better. Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely been my experience, and it's been even more noticeable, recently on this trip that um yeah, that the location does change a lot in terms of how I feel both in the energies and that, and then that corresponds to the overall mood and all of that. Um, and there are certain places, including the Meher Baba Spiritual Center in Myrtle Beach, right, and definitely including the Samadhi in India. But yeah, there are places that have um, that have that kind of energy and power, and it does feel different. And this is one of those places.
For me, woods are very important. Trees and forests, and uh, I feel like I feel God's presence in woods and lakes and flowing water.
Yeah, 100%. And there's a spring also that comes kind of underneath the mountain and lets out near the town area where you can take water. So I think this has all those elements. And I would add one other element that for me the mountain aspect
Oh yeah.
um, adds a lot to the energy. So here happens to have um, most of those elements where yeah you have the mountain element, the tree element. On the mountain itself, there's not like a water body right here, although there is actually snow. So if you count, I guess if you were to go to the snow, or when the snow used to be at the elevation that I'm at now, but now since it's summer, it's up another maybe it's up another couple thousand feet. So I guess you have it in the form of snow, or if you went down to the mountain, there's a really nice lake, this Lake Shastina, um, at the bottom.
Have you been to Minnewaska in New York?
No, no, I
It,
haven't.
yeah, it and it has a lake in the sky. They call them the sky lakes because it's a a big ridge of rock, and there's Lake Minnewaska, Mohonk Lake, and Lake Maritanza
Hmm.
that are fed by springs. And um,
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think there's definitely something about that spring water that's interesting. There's another spring around here. And by the way, while we're talking, we're still doing the meditation, so you can keep your eyes closed and the energy is still coming. But there's a spring around here that was actually, so it used to be um like it was used before as kind of like a bath house like slash resort, and it was it was in use for that purpose. This was a while ago. This might have been like the 1920s. And then the Saint Germain Society actually bought it and like closed it, kind of like closed it to the public as a bathhouse. But you can still go there. And the water is it has like this like viscous quality. So maybe it's a sulfur spring or there's some minerals in it. Um, but yeah, there's like something about that it's a special water, um, basically. The water from it's great drinking water though around here. There's actually a commercial. I found this out, recently. So in California, there's a big brand of spring water. Um, I don't think you don't really see it on the East Coast, but here in the supermarkets you see it, and it turns out it's bottled here.
Hmm.
So there actually is it's in Weed, which is one of the towns that's right at Mount Shasta. Um, and yeah, so there is a large enough spring to do that around here. Sometime I have to go there, I have to look on the map like where that bottling site is, and yeah, yeah. That's a
Oh yeah.
spring when I buy spring water in California, I get that brand. So
Oh, for motorcycling on public roads, by the way, Google has this great feature Google Maps, that you can
mhm.
click to avoid highways.
I learned about that. I learned about that. I was in South Carolina, right, when I was at the Meher Baba Center, and I was looking at bikes over there. And I was tempted. I was considering this little I think it was like a GS 250, Suzuki 250. And I was like, well, how am I going to get this to Mount Shasta? And they're like, yeah, avoid tolls and highways. It's the first time I knew that feature existed. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that was like an option. It's like before I thought you had to go on the highway or something like that. Turns out there's all these other roads.
Yeah.
Um, because I'm comfortable going at like 40 miles an hour. Maybe there'll be a
Yeah.
point I'll be comfortable going at 65,
No,
but
what
40, it's
for?
like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
what
very
for?
different, right?
I mean, deers can step out on the road from behind a tree so easily, and oh, that reminds me. You should practice stopping a lot. Like
hmm
practice slamming on your brakes and making sure the bike is perfectly straight forward. Because if your handlebars are turned at all, you'll go over them, um, and it won't feel good. Yeah.
Right. I'm also getting plenty of padding and whatnot. I'm realistic kind of. So I'm trying to be safe. So yeah, so you're with me on that. Like there's no need to reach these like high speeds and
Oh yeah, totally. I always avoid highways as much as I can, even though they are convenient. But I'll take the long route through, the windies, the
yeah.
twisties, as they call
And
them. Yeah.
what do you ride?
I ride a Buell. Uh, it it's it, it's kind of on the same platform as a Harley Sportster, but it looks more like a sport bike, not a cruiser.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And what
Yeah.
do you like about that format?
Well, it's just very agile, and um, uh, if it goes down, I can, if it falls over, I'm just able to lift it, even though it's
Okay.
like 1200 cc's. Yeah,
Wow. That's a lot of CCs.
it is. I mean,
Wild.
it has tremendous. Though I would like a small bike too.
Okay. So, so you can go like 250 miles an hour in that thing or whatever it is.
No, but I
Um,
never do that.
okay.
But the
Well, but
acceleration is
all
fun.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, the largest like I even thought to try was 750, and that was a bit unwieldy. And how much does this weigh?
Uh, um, about 450 or so.
That's it? So
Yeah.
I don't, all
Hmm.
right, I don't know how you managed to get 1200 cc and 450. But
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'll send you a picture of it, of her. Yeah.
Okay.
And then also I have a big fat cruiser Yamaha that I use for shopping and, you know, that can carry a, a lot of bags and, you know, but
Okay.
yeah, it's 1700 cc's.
Wow. Okay. You don't play around. Okay. All right. You could like tow a house with that thing.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, boy.
But yeah, and practice also the counter steering. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, because like it'll save your life, you know, if a car or truck, you know, comes into your lane, you can just counter steer and uh, get out of its way.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, practice that every time you get on your bike, counter steer for you know, practice that swerving back and forth in your lane for a bit to to,
Mm,
to get the muscle memory.
okay. Okay, Jen. So we'll wind up to a close over here. Um, so yeah. So did you feel a difference being at Mount Shasta in terms of the energy?
Oh yeah, and especially with your background, your
Okay.
seeing you in a forest makes me think, oh, I got to go outside. I got to go outside. That's the thing I
You know,
have
they
to
have some
do.
really nice pine cones
They're
over here.
beautiful. They're
I was playing
beautiful.
around with one of these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, uh,
Oh,
yeah. Mm.
okay. So yeah, lovely to be with you this morning, your afternoon, and yeah, I'll look forward to connecting next week. Okay.
Okay. See you next time. Stay
All
safe.
right.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Jai Baba. Bye.
Jay Baba. Bye.